Hey, good evening, everyone. This will be a recovery video log for September 7th, 2025. It was a Sunday. We spent the whole day coming back from Washington, where my brother's wedding was. So it was a real journey. So we were originally supposed to get up at 3 in the morning and leave, so we could be back around like noon ish. But we ended up leaving around 5. My mom had texted me at like 12:30 and was like, "Do 5?" And so I woke up at 3 to my alarm and was just like, I tried to wake her up, she didn't budge, and I was like, 5 it is. So I took another power nap, and then I ended up driving the whole way home, and me and my mom were having like really good conversation. And so it was really funny. We got up to leave, and I was like, we probably got out of there at 5:35, right? And so we stopped in Spokane at a McDonald's. I'm gonna assume they opened at 6, but there was someone in the drive-through, right? And so we pull up to the window, and it was the most interesting thing ever. So we pull up to the speaker. There's two speakers, like it's the dual lane. Pull up to the speaker, not getting anything, not getting a response, whatever. There's another guy in the other aisle, and he's like yelling into the speaker, trying to get their attention. Nothing, right? So he pulls up. So I'm like, if he's going, I'm going. So I pull behind him, and he like starts like knocking on the first window, like the one you usually pay at, and then they tell him to go to the second one. So he goes to the second window, and as I go by, the employee's just like, and so we go to the second window. He orders there, gets his coffee. It's literally just a coffee. It's all he wanted. It was a McDonald's coffee, and so we go up and we place our order. It's like 4 sausage McMuffins. That's it, right? And they were like just kind of like, "Do you need something?" Bro, it's McDonald's. What do you think I'm doing at McDonald's? Bro, you think I'm here for the sights? What are you talking about, right? It was really fun. And then I had taken a scratcher ticket for my brother's wedding. He was handing them out, and I ended up winning. I think it was either $10 or $30 on like I think it was $30 on like a $3 scratch off ticket. And so went and cashed out at the gas station on the way, and then I think we drove for 4 hours before taking our first break. And me and my mom were just chatting. We were just chatting up a storm. It was really, really nice. Because while Ava drives, she likes to have music. And so Ava was asleep in the back, in the back seat. So it was me and my mom in the front. I mean, we were talking about everything. We were talking about, obviously, Cade's wedding. Obviously, like he shared an emotional moment with us the previous night. It was really nice. And then, we talked about like consciousness in children. We talked about like gaining self awareness. We talked about like the levels of consciousness. We talked about those are all three having to do with consciousness. We talked about trying to think of another thing we talked about that has nothing to do with consciousness, bro. I talked about the Nakarima people, the like the thought whatever the thought experiment slash satirical thing where it's like you describe at what Americans do like as if they were a tribe, so you can get like a third person perspective on what we do. And it's interesting thing if you've never looked up the Nakarima. It's interesting. It's just American backwards, right? And then yeah, we drove past a prison that looked super weirdly shaped, so we like looked up stuff about that prison. It was interesting. And then took a break at a gas station, just stretched our legs, filled up on gas, drove for another 2 hours, took another break. I need to pee. I needed to pee so badly, and then made it home around 1:30. And first thing I did, went to check on the garden. It was fine. I think I watered it right when I got home, and then Ava and I headed over to Summer and Daniel's house for a bit. They had some food ready, so we nibbled on their stuff a wee bit, and then when I got back from that, I unpacked my bag and then I unpacked my backpack. Brushed my teeth because my teeth felt weird because I hadn't been able to brush at the Airbnb before we left. And then even I watched some of our show and then I took a nap. And then after the nap, I was like, all bets are off. I'm not making an evening meal. I'm gonna play some video games. I'm gonna decompress. Life's good. We're back in town. And planned was tomorrow to get back into my routine. Spoiler alert, I didn't do that, so recovery, obviously. But that was the plan, anyways. And then I think just in the spirit of the weekend, I wanted to share a daily thought about marriage. So obviously, Ann and I are married. Let me write this down really quick. Obviously, Ann and I are married. We had a courthouse wedding. Um, Literally, we just went in, paid. Oh, God, I wish I could tell you the exact amount. I think it was like 40 bucks, $5. Maybe it was less than 50. I said less than 60, just to be generous. So it was less than 60 bucks. Went in. Judge came out, married us. We had Summer as a witness. That was the whole wedding. It was sick, dude. And Ava had been like wanting to get married for a while. I don't really care for it. Like we already act like we're married. Isn't me? I was like whatever. My anniversary is January 25th, 2024, and so I'm kind of just like, meh, whatever. We're gonna get married. That's cool. And I was like, 25th is a 012524 1 or 25 minus 1 24, super easy to remember, right? And so we got married, and afterwards it felt different. And I kind of explained it to a couple of my friends who aren't married yet. It feels different. Like I'm sure the people I've heard people complain about like marriage as an institution, whatever that means. But my thought is like it like I know it's just a piece of paper, but it felt different for some reason. Like we felt closer, you know. And I gave a speech I gave him to his wedding, and was like, like there's three things now. It's Gabe, Toby, and the marriage. It's like those things are separate now. Like there's three separate entities in your marriage, and I remember like explaining that and like really starting to understand when I got married, you know. And it's like there's days where I have bad days, but me and Anna are super tight, so it's like the marriage is really really strong, but I'm having a bad day, like whether I'm sick or irritable, whatever it is, the marriage is still super super solid. And I think that I really appreciate that. I think it's really really cool. um I have I mean, we've all heard the statistic in America: 50% of marriages end in divorce, which means 50% of us are quitters, dude. Honestly, y'all need to lock in, twin. But no, and I always think like Anna and I got married really young, but we're so tight as a couple. Like we're so rock solid. It's really interesting because as we are right now, I can't even imagine divorce being on the table. Like that's an insane thought, Um, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it literally just doesn't make any sense. You'd have to uncouple your entire life from the person. Like unless something happens and we're both just like mutually like this is not the life we want to live. Let's go a different path. Unless something completely out of the blue happens. I mean, obviously everything is slowly and then all at once. But unless something like that happens, we're together. Like there's no um I shouldn't say there's no other option. There is other options, but it's like it would be easier for us to be separated and still be married. Like that would be easier than whatever anyone wants to do with divorce. Like that just sounds like a hellhole, dude. And so it's really interesting that people are willing to go through that. And I should say, I heard this was explained to me when I was a kid. When they say 50% of marriages end in divorce, that's four people have been married once their entire life, and then one person has been married 7 times, and that kind of skews the numbers a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it's just so interesting. Like being married to someone, I didn't expect it to be powerful. Like I didn't expect it to change anything. We already acted like I didn't. I just didn't expect it to be different, and then it was so different that I was like, this is so cool. And now I'm so glad that my older brother Cade gets to experience that because it. I mean, I gotta reach out to him or call him and just like, does it feel different to you? Because I can't tell if it's just me. I haven't heard other people talk about this, but it felt so different after we got married, and it still feels different from before we got married. Like that was a real turning point in the seasons of our lives when we got married. Like there is who we were before marriage and who we are afterwards, and like we've grown up, like we've matured as adults since being married. It's crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I hope you all had a wonderful wonderful Sunday, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.